Hi there. I'm Rip Stalvey, and I'm really glad you're here today because I want to talk to you about something that can truly change the way you look at your birds and even change the results you're getting from your flock, too. It's a simple model that I call the Poultry Keeper's Pyramid. And once you understand how it works, it can help you raise stronger, healthier, and more productive birds, whether you're breeding, showing, or just trying to do right by your backyard flock. So picture this: a pyramid with three equal sides. At the base is nutrition. On one side is genetics, and the other side is management. Each one supports the other, and all three are equally important. Now, what happens when you get them in balance? You're going to be in a really good place with your birds. Let's walk through each side of this pyramid together, shall we? Start with genetics, because that's the blueprint you begin with. The quality of your starting stock matters more than most people realize. Good genetics are what set the ceiling for what your birds can become. If you start with a bird that doesn't have the right frame or the right vigor or the correct breed traits you're aiming for, you're going to hit a wall eventually. That's true whether you're trying to win ribbons, fill a freezer, or build a dependable laying flock. But here's the catch: even the best genes in the world won't do much on their own. Genetics tell you what's possible, but it's what you do next that determines what's realized. Now, that brings us to the second side of the pyramid: management. Management is everything you do, it's the housing you provide, the way you clean the coop, how often you observe your birds, how do you handle them, the predator protection you use, and even how you deal with stress in the flock. Management is where we either support the bird or we unknowingly sabotage it. Think about it. You can have top tier genetics, but if your coop is overcrowded, your waters are dirty, or you're dealing with chronic parasite issues, those birds won't reach their potential. It's like planting great seed in poor soil. The good news is that management is 100% in your control, and even small improvement like better ventilation, more frequent check ins, or even just observing your birds more closely can really have a big impact. Now let's move down to the base of the pyramid, and that's nutrition. And it's the foundation that everything else stands on. Birds can't grow, lay, reproduce, or thrive without the right nutrition. Think about how many things we ask of our birds. We want them to grow fast, lay lots of eggs, have good fertility, healthy molts, and every one of those depends on the proper feeding. And I'm not just talking about feeding cheap feed. I'm talking about a high quality feed that has optimum protein levels, the right balance of amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. Don't forget fresh, clean water, too. Proper calcium at the right stages. Whether you're buying bagged feed or mixing your own, the question is, are you feeding for what your birds are now or for what you want them to become? It's so easy to overlook nutrition, but honestly, it's the most common place where even experienced poultry keepers fall short. So, here's the big picture: genetics sets the ceiling, management sets the condition, and nutrition, well, that fuels the whole process. Leave any one of them behind, and the pyramid will eventually collapse. Let's talk about a few real life examples. If you start with poor genetics, it doesn't matter how well you feed or manage, you're just polishing the wrong rock. You won't get the performance or the consistency you're hoping for. But even with good genetics, if your management is inconsistent or your housing is stressful, you're going to see problems. Birds will underperform, get sick more easily, or show behavioral issues. And if you're nailing the management and you have great birds, but you're underfeeding them or missing key nutrients, it's like they're just never quite thriving. That's because they're not getting supported at the base. Now, here's what I love most about this pyramid. It doesn't just diagnose problems, it gives you a path forward. When things aren't going the way you hoped, maybe your hatch rates are low, or your pullets aren't laying, or your birds just don't have the body you're looking for. Take a step back and ask, am I working with the proper genetics? Is my management helping or hurting? Is my nutrition really meeting their needs? Once you learn to evaluate your flock through those three lenses, your decision making gets sharper. And your results, well, they get better because now you're not just reacting, you are intentionally improving. And don't worry, you don't have to fix everything overnight. In fact, small changes are often the most sustainable. Maybe you start weighing your chicks weekly. Maybe you even cull a little more strictly this season to improve your genetics next year. Whatever it is, when you start seeing these three parts as a team, you'll be amazed at how everything in your poultry program starts to click. So that's the Poultry Keeper's Pyramid. Simple, balanced, and deeply powerful. Genetics, management, and nutrition. What a team. Working together to support every bird in your care. Now, before I go, I want to share a quote I heard today from Mr. Will Harris of White Oak Plantations in Bluffton, Georgia. You may have heard part of this before, but Mr. Harris was talking about bringing about change, and I thought what he said fit this lesson perfectly. His quote goes like this: if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. If you want to make a difference, see a difference, or feel a difference, does it make any sense that you can continue to operate in the same way you always have? Wow. Talk about powerful. Thanks for investing your time listening to me. And if today's conversation helped you see your flock a little differently or gives you a few new ideas to try, let us know. You can visit our website at www.thepoultrykeeperspodcast.com and leave a voice message by clicking the microphone icon on the bottom right hand corner of any page. Now, as always, if you know someone else who would enjoy hearing this message, send them the link to the show and let's grow this community even larger. Until next time, keep learning, keep improving, and keep enjoying the birds you love.